your patience, I beg your indulgence, asking you to stand as we welcome the guest of honor, the Right Honourable Prime Minister of the Government of Rwanda. So once again, good morning to you all. My name is Donyo Dubanjo, Executive Secretary to the Nigerian Academy of Science, Chair INGSA Africa, and co-chairing the conference with the President of INGSA, Professor Remy Kirion. And it's my pleasure, I would like very much to welcome this morning the Right Honourable Prime Minister of the Government of Rwanda, Dr. Édouard Ngirente. Also to welcome the Honourable Gaspard Twagirayezu, the Minister of Education, to this session. And of course, we have with us the Vice Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, Professor Kayihura Muganga. So far this morning, we've had an exciting overview of all the work that INGSA and its geographic and thematic communities of practice are doing globally. Prime Minister, sir, as the chair of INGSA, I can say from experience just how energized the Global South countries have been to build up and strengthen their science advice systems, even before the pandemic threw a spotlight on how science was used in policy making. Countries, of course, like Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa have led the way on the continent, recognizing the value that evidence can play in smart and effective policy making and tailoring those systems to our own context. In Asia and Latin America, the stories are similar. The Global South knows that evidence makes for better policy, and there is a huge appetite for optimizing these systems. Likewise, the common challenges that we face of equitable access to evidence, of resource constraints when trying to build up scientific and research capacity, and the need to expand the definition of robust knowledge to recognize our own ways of knowing and our cultures as well as our histories. That is why also it was quite interesting to hear from Professor Romain Morenzi and Ms. Adeline Chuzuzo this morning about how lived experiences can be combined with evidence and expertise in context of science advice to achieve economic development. So now, with great pleasure, I'd like to invite the Minister of Education as a key partner of INGSA 2024. Please welcome with me Honourable Gaspard Twagirayezu. Keep clapping till he gets here. And clap louder, please. They were really very supportive. Thank you.
Right Honourable Prime Minister, Chief Scientist of Quebec and the President of INGSA, Professor Remy Kirion, Co-Chair of INGSA 2024, President of the International Science Council, representatives from UN agencies, representatives from different foreign ministries here, representatives from the scientific and the policy institutions in Rwanda and other partner countries, members of the program and the local organizing committee, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And welcome to INGSA 2024. And a warm welcome to Rwanda. It is a privilege to have our Prime Minister with us today. Thank you for taking the time to join us at this critical gathering. We are truly honored to host the 5th International Conference of the International Network of Governmental Science Advice and discuss this year's theme, which is Transformation Imperative, expanded evidence for inclusive policy in diverse contexts. We are particularly proud as this is the first time INGSA is being held in Africa and the Global South, underscoring Rwanda's growing importance in the world stage. Rwanda's vision is clear: to become a high-income country by 2050 and ensuring a high quality of life for all citizens. Science, technology, and innovation are important pillars of this transformation, driving socioeconomic transformation and positioning us as a global knowledge-based economy. In this regard, our national STI policy emphasizes the importance of nurturing a skilled workforce, promoting STEM education, and harnessing technologies like artificial intelligence. The national AI policy launched in 2022 sets the stage for Rwanda to become a hub of innovation, aligning closely with the objectives of INGSA 2024. The country's AI policy provides a roadmap to enable Rwanda to harness the benefits of AI and other technologies and mitigate their risks. Building on the mission of Vision 2050, the Smart Rwanda Master Plan, and other key national plans and policies, it equips Rwanda to make use of AI for sustainable and inclusive growth. As I conclude, we recognize that the challenges faces policymakers are as complex as they are varied. So the significance of science advice emerges as an important element, bridging the gap between science findings and policy implementation. Over the course of this conference, we have the unique opportunity to explore strategies for enhancing the integration of evidence into policymaking process through engaging discussions and presentations. Once again, thank you very much, and please enjoy the hospitality and rich culture of Rwanda. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the Minister of Education. So moving right along, it's my pleasure at this time to invite the President of INGSA, Co-Chair INGSA 2024, and the Chief Scientist of Quebec to give us a few words and welcome or invite over the guest of honor, Professor Remy Kirion. Please give him a round of applause.
Right, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Minister, Excellencies, Ambassador, High Commissioner of Canada, Vice Chancellor of the University of Rwanda, guests, friends and colleagues. First, not on my text, first, I love the troupe, the dance. Did you? Many thanks to the Honourable Minister for your kind words. Also, my sincere thanks to His Excellency, the President of Rwanda and his government, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Minister of Education and their team. I have always been very, very impressed with His Excellency, very welcoming, warm interaction with us from the very beginning. I remember my first meeting with His Excellency, organized by Romain Murenzi and Eugene Mutimura. His message in a nutshell: education and science are critically important for Rwanda, adding that the most important resources is people, the brain, the gray matter of his people. Key topic for His Excellency: artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, quantum computing. When he mentioned these three, I said, wow, if my Prime Minister was to have the same objective, it would be quite amazing. So from the beginning of interaction with him, really disruptive technology, and we'll have a session during the meeting where we'll talk about that. Since then, we also started a program, training program from students from Rwanda to come to do their PhD in Quebec, in quantum computing, hopefully very soon artificial intelligence, and as was mentioned before, also establish a training hub in science advice at the University of Rwanda. So really, really impressive link between Quebec, Canada, and Rwanda. Also, for the meeting here today and over the next few days, sincere thanks to the sponsor. You see them with their logo on the front, but without them, it would not have been possible to organize this meeting. The three main sponsors, and we're very proud of that and very thankful. The government of Rwanda, via the Ministry of Education, the University of Rwanda, and also the government of Quebec. So, and we have many other sponsors, and we thank you very much. We'll have a special event tomorrow night to celebrate and thank all the sponsors, and many are present in the room, and hopefully you'll talk to them. As was mentioned, INGSA is 10 years old, over 6,000 members in more than 150 countries, and at the meeting today, over 65 countries from all continents. Essential for INGSA to be fully inclusive and transformative. That's the topic of the meeting. Transformation, imperative, expanded evidence for inclusive policy in diverse contexts. Experts from all over the world will discuss these points at the meeting here, and hopefully you will ask challenging questions to the expert. We'll be able to grow together for the next phase of development of INGSA. One thing that we want to promote more and more at the organization is South-South collaboration. So we have chapter in the Global South, of course, the first one to be established here in Africa, but also Latin America and the Caribbean and Asia. So having more and more exchange, South-South type of exchange, and what should we do to help in that regard. First, at this meeting, at the INGSA meeting, we'll have on tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow, there's so many things happening at the same time. Tomorrow afternoon for the first time, no, not tomorrow afternoon, Friday afternoon. For the first time, we'll have a public lecture organized in partnership with the University of Rwanda. It will be held at the University of Rwanda, so all of you are most welcome. And there, we talk about science and the world, from the very, very small to the very, very large, like astronomy. So small thing like Higgs boson, planet Earth, and then space. So I think hopefully you'll come. And also one of the objectives there is to talk about science to the public, to the general public, to our citizens. So I'm now very pleased to give the floor to the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Rwanda. Please welcome to the podium.
Senior government officials here present, Prof. Remy Quillion, President of the International Network for Governmental Science Advice, development partners, distinguished guests, a very good morning. I would like first to thank the International Network for Governmental Science Advice for partnering with our institutions to organize this global event, this important conference. It's a real pleasure for me to be with you today. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to Kigali. I also want to commend the International Network for Governmental Science Advice for choosing Rwanda as its Africa hub This is a token of confidence and acknowledgement of Rwanda's commitment to the use of scientific evidence in policy making. Distinguished guests, the theme chosen for this 5th edition of the International Network for Governmental Science Advice Conference, the Transformational Imperative, Expanded Evidence for Inclusive Policies in Diverse Contexts, is very pertinent for us. It is a call to action for all of us to advance the required transformation and more inclusive and effective public policy response to address global challenges. As you are aware, many of the global challenges now transcend national borders, and we know that in this regard, science can build a common ground between nations and help align our actions. Large-scale socioeconomic and socio-technical transformation will be required if we are to stop increasing inequality and create a just and equitable future. Science is therefore a critical enabler to bridge this gap. The challenges that the world is facing today are interconnected, complex, and transboundary. To address them, we will need to adopt comprehensive, innovative, and transformative approaches rather than traditional technical solutions. Equally important is the involvement of citizens in the decision-making processes. This will not only contribute to renewed trust and social cohesion, but also effective policy implementation. Distinguished guests, as the government of Rwanda, we recognize the significance of science, technology, and innovation in all sectors, on all fields, as crucial drivers for promoting social welfare and sustainable development in the country. Aligned with our Vision 2050, science is expected to play a key role in Rwanda's journey towards becoming an upper middle-income country by 2035 and a high-income country by 2050, ensuring high standards of living for all Rwandans. Rwanda aims at building a knowledge-based economy, and to achieve this goal, we have strategically invested in the entire education system at all levels, from primary education, secondary education, to higher learning institutions. Our goal is to keep developing our human capital by providing comprehensive trainings in different fields of science. Through this approach, we prepare our workforce with the necessary skills to meet the demands of both private and public labor markets. The government of Rwanda has established the institutional arrangements that is needed to create an environment conducive for science development and innovation. This in turn translates into new technologies needed to support the economic growth of the country. In this regard, our government has accepted to support the establishment of regional units of the International Network for Governmental Science Advice, currently hosted by the University of Rwanda. It is expected that this unit will expand its operation to support the creation of functional networks at a regional level and serve as a hub for capacity development for Africa. Distinguished guests, as I conclude, I would like to emphasize the following two important takeaways. First, science advice for the transformation of our systems is critical for decision makers. We must therefore take bold and strategic actions in setting the global science agenda to address our most pressing challenges and respond to our development priorities. Second, as we reflect on the potential of evidence-informed development policy, our focus should be on increasing the capability and the resilience of global science advisory organizations and the national systems. To achieve this, collaborative efforts are essential. We must foster synergy across all levels of governance and ensuring better coordination between our systems. By doing so, we pave the way for effective decision-making. Finally, I would like to reiterate Rwanda's support to the mandate or mission of the International Network for Governmental Science Advice to promote the connection between global knowledge and the policy, ensuring that decisions are based on solid evidence. I wish you all a wonderful stay in Rwanda and look forward to the productive outcomes of this 5th conference, International Network for Governmental Science Advice Conference. I thank you for your kind attention.